All right. Well, it was a great finish to a good road trip for us. And again, like all season long, whether we're in tough times or we're winning some games, the fight of this group is really impressive. Could have got away from us. I thought Harrison did a nice job of just keeping us around while while we kind of stumbled to the end of that third quarter. Richaun Holmes and the effort he gave with that defensive, those blocks and rotations and stops he got, and holding them to 15 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's what you love to see out of your team. So, De'Aaron was, he was big time down the stretch of that game, and it's good. It's good to see that growth from him. So, we're happy with the road trip. But we know we have a lot of work to still do. 20 turnovers for 25 points it's hard to win games when you're doing that consistently. So a lot of work to do, but very, very pleased with this 4-game trip.
All right, we'll start with James Ham.
Hey, Luke, nice win.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, De'Aaron, you've said multiple times that this team will only go as far as he takes you. And tonight, he didn't start scoring until the 7:07 mark of the fourth, and he ended up with 18 and outscored them single-handedly. Just how much fun was it to watch him put on that performance?
Oh, yeah, it was great. I mean, he had, I think he had something like 15 and 9 at the half, and really, really did a nice job of picking and creating for others, which is what you want, your top guy to do. And then take over at the end. And tonight, tonight he really did that. I mean, it makes the coaching job a lot easier on the sideline when he's he's doing that down the stretch. But it just gives the guys so much confidence. And I was just very happy for him and the group, because our guys are tired. We've been on the road and they gave everything they had out there tonight. So, yeah, I'm big time by De'Aaron and big time by the team.
All right, Sean Cunningham.
Obviously, you're going to be critical of the turnovers, but to see your team kind of buckle down and hold them to 15 points to overcome that, how big of a I guess, evolution moment is that for your team?
Well, it's great. It's what we needed to win tonight. I talk about it all the time. It's why we have to continue to really commit to that end. And I feel like we have. I feel like we're getting much better, and our numbers would even be better than that if we'd stop turning the ball over. I mean, we give up so many points off our turnovers. Even in the first half, we had 20 assists at the half. It's like the message is, guys, if we stop turning it over, we'll score. So we're making it hard on ourselves with that. But, late in the game, De'Aaron's message in one of the timeouts was, look, we've held them under 20 points so far this fourth. This is, let's keep them under 20 for the rest of the quarter, and let's keep this in mind for how we have to play. And he's absolutely right.
Marshall Harris.
Luke, just the progress that you guys have made with this road trip. If you're looking at it in summation, what would you say is your biggest takeaway as a coach in terms of progress, just from where you started, where you weren't playing games in Memphis, to right now? How different is this basketball team in your eyes to before you got those 4 days of between games?
Yeah, I just feel like we're playing. We cleaned up a lot of the mistakes with those extra couple days, and I think the guys have a really good understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. And look, like I said, we have a long way to go still, so we're going to make a lot of those mistakes still. But the effort is there, and the consistency in giving that effort is there. And when you play as many games as you do in the NBA, that's really what you're looking for. And then you can win. You can live with the wins and losses depending on if teams get hot or not. But you just want that consistent play. And I feel like we did that pretty much throughout this entire trip.
Jason Jones.
Hey, Luke, you kind of mentioned it about what it does for the group when you have a guy like De'Aaron play like that. Could you kind of expand on that and what it does to the locker room and that group when you have a guy who, if De'Aaron keeps this up, can be a guy that you can look to in the fourth and say, if we get there, he'll carry us home?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have to keep the mind, this De'Aaron doesn't do that by himself tonight for sure. So like there's still that balance of that's a good team win. But for 100%, Jason, as a former role player myself, I felt much better and much more confident knowing knowing that if we could, we do everything we can to keep it close, and we're gonna have a good chance to win the game with with Kobe on our side. And obviously that's not comparing De'Aaron to Kobe, but it's you have an extra sense of confidence just as a player. And that was one game, and we need to see if we can't do that. Most times we're in close games.
All right, just a few more. Tony Harvey.
Yes, I would have to say that was a good win, Coach, and an excellent, definitely a adequate road win. But 52 rebounds and 31 assists. Holmes pulled down six blocks. So, how do you feel about your defense right now? Because now they're getting the stops that they need, and they get them at those critical times.
Yeah, so the defense was we were pretty darn bad to start the season, and we spent a lot of time talking on it, working on it, and we kind of took that, before the New York game was 15 games, and it was like, all right, guys, let's reset, because I feel like we're starting to understand what we need to do. And since then, I felt like our defense has gotten much better, and I'm very pleased with it. Again, I think the numbers would even be better if we weren't giving so many points off of our turnovers, our offensive turnovers. But I think since that New York game, I think we're around 12 or 13 defensively in that stretch, which I know doesn't mean much to other people, but to us it shows to the group what we're doing is working, and stay committed to it. So I'm happy with where we're at defensively right now.
We'll go back to James Ham.
Hey, Luke, you touched on a little bit there in the beginning, but Harrison Barnes, I think he had 17 in the third quarter after Marvin was tossed from the game. Number one, what did you think about the Marvin Bagley double, the technical, the second one, but also just Harrison getting you guys right back in the game?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Marvin deserved to be tossed. And look, I like young players kind of letting their emotion out a little bit. So I have no problem with Marvin getting a technical, but that hurt when we lost him, because he was doing a heck of a job out there again tonight. So that's a big team we were playing against, and we had Harrison. I had Harrison matched up originally on BI. My game plan was, every minute BI is on the court, Harrison's going to be on the court. And then once Marvin got tossed, I had to match him up against Zion. And Harrison not only was guarding the other team's best player, but really put us on his back offensively. And that's tough, when you're playing that hard defensively, to have the legs to make some of those shots was great to see. And it forced them a little bit to be a little more aggressive too, and I loved it. Some of those one dribble, step back threes, we're not looking for those all the time out of him, but I thought it pushed them a little bit to we a lot of times we sit here, James, and talk about let's keep getting Harrison more aggressive. And I thought tonight was at least a showing of where he can continue to grow as a player.
Jason Anderson.
Hey, Luke, congrats on the win tonight. We've seen De'Aaron just make some really elite level moves this season. I mean, I don't even know how many it is at this point. What are we seeing from him in terms of a leap towards, whether he's, maybe an all-star someday or whatever kind of player you think he can be?
Yeah, I think he's, he's finding that confidence. Like I said from before the season started, I said I think De'Aaron's going to have a very good year, because I saw him work every day in Sacramento this offseason, and I saw him in the weight room 5 days a week, and I saw him do our workouts, and then he was coming back with his fiance and shooting 100 threes at night, making 100 threes every night. So like you see that work happening. Now that he's gaining the confidence, I think, in having a stronger body and having, a better jump shot, a lot of other things will open up for him. So it's a big step, and it's good to see, and we're obviously a better team when he's playing like that.
All right, last one, Sean Cunningham.
I just wanted to follow up on Fox again. When he's in that fourth quarter kind of takeover mode, this is back-to-back games now where he's got 30 points for the first time in his career, and so much of that comes in the fourth quarter. That fourth quarter takeover mode you see from him, how much do you like to see that as opposed to maybe giving it to other players, or do you like him in that takeover mode?
No, we want him in takeover mode, and so I think he can only get there again because of the commitment he had in the weight room. Even after we lost the Miami game, I think it was, he was in the weight room with our strength coach lifting after that game. So he's committed. You can only do that in the fourth quarter if your body is strong enough to handle it. But takeover doesn't always mean just scoring like he's been. We showed a clip today in that Miami game where he penetrated the paint, came to a jump stop, and then kicked it to Ty in the corner because he collapsed the defense. Ty gets a swing to Buddy. Buddy doesn't make the three, but it's an uncontested three that De'Aaron created. So takeover down the fourth is you have the ball in your hands and you're creating for others or you're scoring depending on how the defense is playing.